What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. Today we're talking the September 27, 2024 edition of the SmackDown LowDown. Megan Morant, Scott Stanford in the studio, opening up the episode, replaying the opening segment from SmackDown with Cody Rhodes, Orton, and Owens all being interrupted by the Bloodline to set up the tag team main event, teasing more tension with Cody, Orton, and Owens, which I really liked throughout the show this week. They also run down the big headlines from the show, including replaying the actual main event, the aforementioned main event, with Solo and Jacob Fatu of the Bloodline beating Owens and Orton in a tag team matchup. Scott Stanford questions if Owens is still frustrated from the Bash in Berlin loss. Obviously, he's frustrated with Cody teaming with Roman, we know that, but he brings up something that, because it's past, people kind of forget about it. But he's right. I mean, that loss to Cody Rhodes, the clean loss, and his inability to become WWE champion at the last pay-per-view might also be playing a factor in why Owens is frustrated at the moment, so I'm glad he brought that up. They also replay the Bayley win over Naomi, where she became the new number one contender to the WWE Women's Championship at Bad Blood. We hear from Bayley afterward backstage with Byron Saxton. Bayley thought Naomi might be mad at her for winning that matchup, but she feels that she's genuinely excited and proud of her after their interaction backstage later on in the show, because it's their collective goal to take down Nia Jax as the WWE Women's Champion. And she feels that losing the championship back at SummerSlam about a month or so ago at this point, 2 months ago, humbled her. And she also teases busting out some new moves and a new hairdo of Bad Blood and new gear for those interested. And she needs to focus, on this match of Come Bad Blood and redeem herself from SummerSlam. So in the studio, they preview Nia and Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship at Bad Blood. They also replay the banger between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes, won by Hayes on SmackDown on Friday night. We hear from Andrade briefly backstage. He's not being interviewed by Byron. He just addresses the camera. It's like a WWE.com exclusive almost. But he just simply says that he's not done with Hayes, and also he now has a problem with LA Knight. Knight did not reciprocate the handshake last week, and then this week he kind of inadvertently cost Andrade the win against Carmelo Hayes. So LA Knight's kind of an asshole. Which we already knew as a character, but Knight was more of the heel here than Andrade was. I don't really blame Andrade for that. Megan Morant teases a 7th match between Carmelo and Andrade, which we got to get, obviously. We got to get the tiebreaker. Best of 7, best of 9, I don't give a fuck. Just give me all the matches between these two. They work so well together. But Scott Stanford says that he wants to see Andrade get another U.S. Championship title shot. I say give us the triple threat. I said this in my SmackDown review earlier, but just give us the triple threat with Knight, Andrade, and Hayes. Please and thank you. They replay the Chelsea Green training video. I don't think they did one this week. I think they just replayed the one this week from last week on SmackDown before the big dumpster match next week on SmackDown in Nashville between Meechin and Chelsea Green. They preview that matchup here. They also replay Meechin beating Piper Niven. We hear from Piper Niven and Chelsea Green backstage with Byron Saxton. They don't really say anything. Byron's just kind of recapping what happened, what's going on next week in the dumpster match. Piper Niven just simply insults Byron's outfit like, oh, how could you wear black and pink or whatever she said. And then Chelsea Green said that Meechin is everything that Niven is not, that being, beautiful, athletic, skinny, whatever she had said about Niven versus Meechin, and that she was just comparing the two and that Piper Niven is better than Meechin. And that their loss really essentially is what she said here. That Meechin's loss, it's Niven and Meechin. How the fuck did I mix that up? Niven losing to Meechin really didn't matter. So, anyway, Scott Stanford says back in the studio he wants to see Chelsea Green be put in the dumpster. I second that next week on the show. And I like Chelsea Green, but that should be very entertaining. They again replay the main event with Owens and Orton losing to the Bloodline. Scott Stanford thinks that Owens feels that he's playing second fiddle right now. And that's part of the reason why he's been frustrated being, overlooked for the whole Bloodline, Cody Rhodes stuff, and that's why I still think Orton will be the one to go heel, because everyone's expecting in storyline for it to be Owens, so that would be a great swerve. And then for next week's show, they hype up the tag team title ladder match with the Gorillas of Destiny, the Bloodline rather. They put the blood in Bloodline, I suppose. Or they put the blood in Bad Blood as the Bloodline. But it's going to be Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa defending the WWE tag team titles against the Street Profits and DIY next week in a triple threat tag team ladder match, as I mentioned. And they also hype up the return of AJ Styles next week, who we have not seen in over 3 months since Clash of the Castle when he lost to Cody Rhodes in Scotland in that WWE title I Quit match. So that should be great too. They didn't say it here, but we also have, I mean, they mentioned Meechin and Chelsea Green as well, that dumpster match next week, and they have Naomi and Tiffany Stratton going one-on-one as well. They also hype up, as we found out on SmackDown, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, are serving as the hosts for Bad Blood. Why? I don't really know. I guess it gets them on the show. Does the event really need a host or hosts? No. I mean, I won't complain. I mean, more of Bianca and Jade isn't a bad thing, but it's like, these belts don't really mean anything, so let's try to make them mean more as opposed to having them serve as hosts. But I guess they're kind of doing that on Raw right now, in that feud between them and Damage Control. So, I mean, I guess they're trying over there. I still don't give a fuck about the belts. I'd rather them move on with Bianca and Jade as enemies, as rivals, but they're clearly holding out on that until closer to Mania, I would imagine. So, anyway, that was the SmackDown LowDown for September 27, 2024. Good episode here, as we heard from Andrade, we heard from Bayley, we heard from Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Kind of a whole array of people before next week's big show, Bad Blood and SmackDown itself, which, like I mentioned in my SmackDown review from earlier, I don't know if I'll be able to review the show before the pay-per-view. I'll be away most of the day on Saturday. So I should be able to watch the shows on Friday night. SmackDown LowDown, hopefully. I don't know, but I'm hoping so. If I don't watch them on Friday night, I'll watch SmackDown LowDown and review it on Sunday. SmackDown itself, I still don't know. I might have to review it late Friday night and then put it up on Saturday morning. I might do it early Saturday morning before I leave. I'm not sure, but keep an eye out for that regardless. Have an awesome one, guys. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.